What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the MVHoopvault recap show. This is the second episode of the recap shows where we're doing it weekly. Not 100% sure if I'll be doing it during the tournament. It just depends. I would like to, but I'm not sure if I'll have time to due to all the games I'll be going to and all the editing I'll have to be doing. But we are back here with the second episode of the recap show. We didn't do one last week due to the bracket show that I did. I replaced that instead. So we have 3 people in here right now. Hopefully we get some more people in here later. Let's start it off with some scores and standings. So the microphone is working. As we can see, the GWOC scores from Tuesday. Number 3, Centerville fell to Fairmont. Fairmont pulling off a big upset. Desan Doucet and Malachi Parker hitting some big shots down the stretch. The Firebirds pull off the upset, possibly of their season, as they snap a huge losing streak to Centerville the past couple of seasons, and that's a big win for the Firebirds. Lebanon takes down Northmont in a clash of 2 of the GWOC's bottom tier teams. Springboro and Willian Yates, I believe he had 24 points in this one. He gets a big win over Wayne, 55-44. I believe it was senior night for Springboro as well. And then Springfield, we'll see the highlight from that game as well. It was a full court shot from Jordan Howard that won Springfield the game as they upset Beaver Creek and eliminate them from a possible outright GWOC title. I attended the Trotwood-Miamisburg game, but I did not have highlights from that one because my camera was messed up. Basically what happened was I had a camera for a long time that I've been using this whole season, and then it broke, so I sent it back to Amazon. They gave me a new one for free, and then the new one that they gave me back was also broken. So I used the broken one during the Trotwood game, but I didn't realize it was broken while I was using it, so I don't have any highlights from that game. But a big win for Trotwood as they take down Miamisburg. Miamisburg was a pretty good team. I think they'll do good in the tournament. That Belmont game should be really interesting. First game for Miamisburg in the tournament. The Friday scores from the GWOC. He got a clash for the GWOC title. Number 3, Centerville taking on number 1, Beaver Creek. Centerville did win that 72-59. We'll see some highlights from that a little bit later on in the show, as I did attend that game. It was a really good game. Gabe Cups with 21 points in that one. Springboro takes down Lebanon in overtime, 66-62. Miamisburg beats Fairmont, although Fairmont did show a lot of fight, almost pulling off 2 big upsets in 1 week. That would definitely would have landed them in the power rankings. There will not be power rankings this week due to the tournament seeding coming out. But obviously that would have been a big win for Fairmont there. And then Miamisburg winning that one. So Trotwood blows out Northmont again, a 37-point win for the Rams, as they're looking really good right before the tournament starts. And then Springfield takes down Wayne on Wayne's second to last home game of the season. A big win for Springfield as they had a really good week, taking down both Beaver Creek and Wayne in the same week. And then the only Saturday game was Wayne's senior night as they beat Independence, which is a City League school in Columbus, 87-42. Taking a look at the final GWOC standings, Centerville's in first with an 11-11 record and then a 9-4 record in the conference. You got Beaver Creek who fell to third after losing to them. Springfield's up at second, and then in the National, Trotwood won that as they finished with a perfect 13-0 in the conference. Moving on to the GCL Co-Ed, the scores from Tuesday. Alter takes down Carroll 63-54. A big win for the Knights there. And McNick beat Baden 44-41. That was a really good game, I believe. Chatterbox Sports live streamed that one, if I'm correct. I know they did live stream the Alter Baden one. They're a really good source for Cincinnati basketball, and they do some Alter games as well. So definitely should check them out. A big win for Fenwick heading into the tournament as AJ Brown plays well again as they beat CJ 62-44. CJ takes on Tip in their first game of the tournament. Roger Bacon falls to Purcell 51-26 there. Looking at the Friday scores in the GCL Co-Ed, as you can see, a big win for the Baden Rams getting revenge against Alter. A big win there as Baden, who have playing some of their best basketball down in the stretch, a huge win against Alter heading into the tournament. Baden trying to make a big run. I think they're a really good team. I saw them play against Bellbrook earlier this season. Really talented Baden team. I would watch out for them come tournament time. McNick gets a big win over Carroll as well as they avoid Carroll almost pulling off an upset. And Carroll, I think a lot of people are going to underestimate heading into that tournament. I think they could pull off a win against Troy. They're a really good team in my opinion. I saw them play against Belmont early in the season. They did lose to Belmont, but pretty much they don't have the greatest record, but all their losses are extremely close this season, so I wouldn't sleep on this Carroll team heading into tournament time. CJ beats Purcell Marion by 4, and then Fenwick defeats Roger Bacon by 16. Now the Saturday scores from the GCL Co-Ed. The only game was Alter's senior night as they took on Bethel Tate. I don't know too much about Bethel Tate, but Alter defeats them by about 43 points. I know their team manager did make a 3 in that one, so I would have gotten a clip of that, but I forgot to. But a big win there from Alter to finish out their regular season. Looking at the GCL Co-Ed final standings, Alter in first place as they win the GCL Co-Ed this season. Baden and McNick are tied for second, a really close second place right there. three really good teams at the top of that conference, and that's a pretty deep conference in my opinion. You got Fenwick, Purcell Marion, Chaminade Julienne, and Carroll, who are all really good teams. Although they don't all have the greatest records, I think they're all really quality teams this season. Moving on to the Dayton City League, the Tuesday scores. These are all makeup games from, I believe, last Friday because it was canceled due to bad weather. As you can see, Stivers falls to Thurgood. This was a highly anticipated matchup, but ever since Trayvon Ellis was not on the team anymore for Stivers, this game was not as close as it was the first time. Thoughts on Butler in the postseason? I think Butler will do good in the postseason. They play Springfield, which will be a really tough matchup for them. I mean, that's going to be rough for them. I mean, Springfield's a really good team. They've been playing really hot the last couple of weeks, but Tyler Montague's a good guard for them. And I think Butler's a pretty decent team. I think they could pull off an upset against Springfield. Well, that's not really even an upset. That's just a win for them. I don't know. That's going to be a really good game. We will have coverage from that. I believe my partner will be there. And I believe that game is at Springfield High School? No, that game is at Centerville, so I will actually be there. So I think that'll be a close game there. But Dunbar beats Ponance 69-66, and then Belmont takes down Meadowdale 79-61. A nice win there for the Bisons to finish out their regular season. Some Friday scores. Thurgood falls to Winton Woods. Winton Woods, a pretty quality Cincinnati team. Not the way Thurgood wanted to end their season, obviously. They had a really good year. Sean McCullough was Coach of the Year in the City League, the official City League first team as well. They had two players, including Makai Elmore and Anthony McComb. Makai Elmore being Player of the Year in the league. Really good season for him. And then the Saturday scores from the City League. As you can see, Stivers takes down Northridge 77-58. So the final standings in the Dayton City League. In first place are the Thurgood Marshall Cougars as they win the league. I predicted that in my preview magazine before the season started. But a nice season there from Thurgood. Hello, MVHoopvault. What's up? Stivers finishes second as they're 12-8 on the season, 5-5 in the league. Belmont's third at 5-5. Ponance fourth, Meadowdale fifth, and then Dunbar sixth. Looking at the MVL scores from Tuesday, West Carrollton beats Greenville by 28. Pickwick gets a nice 6-point win over Fairborn. Tip upsets Sydney with a big win there for Tippecanoe. Their second win over Sydney this season. Nolan Mader with a last-second tip in to win the game for them and lock up an outright MVL Miami championship. Troy beats Stebbins by 9, and then Butler beats Xenia by 14. The Friday scores from the MVL. There are some big games here as well. Xenia beats Fairborn by 4, so Xenia will not finish in last place in the MVL Valley. Greenville falls to Sydney by 14. Pretty decent season from Greenville. Obviously not what they wanted, but it was an improvement from last year as they finished with 5 wins this season. Sydney, not the ending that they wanted to their season as they almost lost that outright league title with a loss to Tip. But since West Carrollton fell to Stebbins, Sydney does get that outright league title. And then Tip with a big win over Butler. They have not beaten Butler in a long time, so that's a good win for them. And then obviously Troy falling to Piqua. Big upset win for Piqua to finish out their season. Maybe giving them some momentum heading into the postseason. We should see. And final MVL standings, Tip finishes in first as they are 13-5 in the conference, 14-8 overall. Troy and Butler tied for second at both at 10-8. Piqua fourth at 6-11, and then Greenville last at 3-15 in the conference. Sydney, like I said before, outright MVL Valley champions as they finished 15-3. West Carrollton was 14-4, Stebbins 13-5, and then Xenia and Fairborn round out that conference. Finishing it out with the SWBL, and then we'll head to some highlights of that Beaver Creek Centerville game. As you can see, Milton Union falls to Arcanum. Good game there for Arcanum as they win by 11. Carter Gray playing his best basketball of the season here down the stretch. Hopefully trying to knock off Milton as they will play each other again in the first round of the tournament. I will hopefully be at that game. If not, my partner will be there. And then Bellbrook beating Preble by 4. Talawanda beats Eaton by 3. Edgewood, a really good Cincinnati team, beats Franklin by 9. And then Ross beats Monroe by 20. The Friday scores from the SWBL. We got about 6 scores right here. As you can see, Brookville beats Valley View. Preble Shawnee beats Northridge. Monroe beats Bellbrook. Dixie falls to Milton Union. And Franklin beats Oakwood, and there was a fan that ran onto the court during that game. Pretty crazy finish there as Franklin did hit a buzzer beater to win as well. And then Madison, a nice 12-point win over Waynesville, who I thought that could have been a game for the SWBL title. I believe Waynesville lost before that, so Madison already had the league title locked up. Then 2 scores from Saturday. As you can see, Stivers defeats Northridge, and Madison falls to Ross. So Madison snaps their 9-game winning streak, as that's not the way they wanted to finish off their season, but Ross is a pretty decent team. In the SWBL standings, have you done the max scores yet? No, I have not. SWBL standings in the Buckeye. Waynesville falls, like I said, to Madison, so Madison locks up the outright title there. They already had it locked out before that game, but a nice ending to the season for Madison. And then Southwestern Division, Franklin wins that as they finish 12-3 in the conference. A really good season for them. So Franklin are your SWBL champions. Now moving on to some highlights from Friday. As you can see, Centerville taking on Beaver Creek for the GWOC title game. Tom House there. He's played extremely well his last couple of games. Not sure why this is lagging, but it is. 13-8 Beaver Creek takes on 10-11 Centerville. And then Chris Herbert warming up for the Beaver Creek Beavers. Gabe Cups pulling up early in this one. He hits the jumper as Centerville's up 2-0. Cups trying to play a big game here in his final regular season game as a freshman. And Herbert answering with a 3 of his own. Beaver Creek ties the game up early. Herbert playing in his final regular season game as a Beaver Creek Beaver. And then Adam Duvall, the big man, hits a little mid-range danger. He hits the shot. Beaver Creek's within 1 here early in this one. The little back-and-forth action here is then kicking it over towards Tom House in the corner. House nails a 3. Beaver Creek down by 6. And just like that, Centerville has all the momentum. Here to kick out over towards Chris Herbert. He answers with a 3 of his own, cuts the deficit down to just 5. And then a little kick out over towards Jason Hayes, giving it over to Tom House in the corner. House was on fire in this one. His team up by 8 at this point. Big lead for Centerville. Beaver Creek trying to stay in it. Yusuf Saleh handed it off to Herbert. He would not be denied hitting another 3 as he played extremely well in this first half. As it's a nice shot there from Herbert. And then at the end of the first quarter, Gabe Cups looking up at the clock, realizes he has to get a shot off. His shot would be off the mark, and Beaver Creek's within 3 at the end of the first quarter. So 13-16 is your first quarter score. Heading into the second quarter, Mo Njai playing in his final GWOC game. Tom House, look how deep he is. He pulls and drains it. What a shot there to put Centerville up by 6. House played out of his mind in this first half. He ended up finishing with 14 points on the night. But Yusuf Saleh getting the tip back. I'm not sure there wasn't a foul called there. But then Adam Duvall at the end of the first half, giving it over to Saleh. His shot would give over to Duvall. His shot at the buzzer would be off the mark. Centerville up by 8 at the end of the half. So Centerville with some momentum heading into halftime. Beaver Creek trying to make a comeback here in the second half. As Rich Rolfe driving in, he gets the foul call and the bucket. Centerville up by 10 at this point. Rolfe had a pretty good season to start. He played good in this one as well as Cups getting the and one jumper to go. He's hyped up about that one as well. What a shot there from Cups. And then going to work is Chris Herbert. He nails a little jumper to bring Beaver Creek back within single digits, trying to lead his team back into this one. And then Yusuf Saleh driving. He gets the tough layup to go. No foul call, but Beaver Creek's now within 6. And then Saleh on the fast break. Jason Hayes almost with the swat. I'm not sure there wasn't a foul there as well, but it's a 5-point game now for Beaver Creek because they're right in it. And then Gabe Cups, the deep 3. That one is good. That put the Elks up by 8. That was a big shot for Cups. And then Saleh answering it with a 3 of his own, bringing Beaver Creek back within 7. So the Beavers are right down in this one here. And then here's a nice little drive and the finish there. As that's a nice play from Ryan Kiefer. He had a breakout performance in this one. And then he actually, I think, won them the game. As Mo Njai with a big dunk at the end of the third quarter. That put Centerville up by 13. A big shot there. And then Yusuf Saleh at the buzzer. His shot off the mark. So Centerville with a big run there at the end of the third quarter. They're up by 13 heading into the final quarter. As they're 1 quarter away from a GWOC title. Adam Duvall spotting up for the jumper. It is good. Beaver Creek within 10. Trying to make a comeback here in the final minutes. Jason Hayes giving it over to Cups. This shot, I think, was the dagger as he nails the 3 in the face of Molly Harris-Strayhorn. Or actually, Salone Baldwin, sorry. So it's a 15-point game, and then Cups driving to the rim. He gets it up, and it is good. And that's a nice play there from Cups. And then Adam Duvall with the basketball, hitting a little jumper, trying to bring his team back. But it was just a little too late as Beaver Creek giving it over to Adam Duvall. His shot is up. It is good. The 3 is up and good. So it's a 14-point game now. And then Gabe Cups with the basketball. He's driving to the rim, finishes the tough layup to go. So it's a 16-point lead for Centerville. And that pretty much ended this one, as Centerville would be your GWOC title champions. As Rich Rolfe giving it over to Mo Njai. He's putting the exclamation point on this one as Centerville wins 72-59 is your final score there. Adam Duvall missing the final free throw. And Centerville dribbles this one out as they are the GWOC American champions as they win this one. Like I said before, 72-59 is your final there from Centerville. So a tough loss for Beaver Creek. Obviously not how they wanted to end their season, but a big win for Mo Njai and Gabe Cups. Cups finished with 21 points. Herbert finished with 14, I believe. And then Adam Duvall finished with 18. Or Herbert finished with 16, Duvall 18, and then Yusuf Saleh with 14. So cutting down the nets there in Centerville, that would be your final score there. We'll give you some more scores here As we'll move on to the MAC now. Bath fell to number 3 Delta St. John's 36-47 on Tuesday. That was the only Tuesday score there for the MAC. As you can see, the Friday scores. Marion Local defeats Coldwater by 17. Versailles with a big win over Delta St. John's. Both those teams were undefeated at one point. I thought that would be a really good matchup, which it still was, with number 1 in Division 3 versus number 3 in Division 4. As Versailles gets the 10-point win there. It was their senior night, although they did have a game on Saturday against Greenville as well. Fort Recovery falls to New Bremen 43-39 as the number 1 ranked Indians fall. A tough loss there. Only their second to last game of the season. And then Minster beats St. Henry by 6. And the Parkway beats New Knoxville by 12. Moving on now to the Saturday scores in the MAC. As you can see here, the Saturday scores are Canham falls to New Bremen by 1. And Versailles beats Greenville pretty easily. Fort Laramie gets the big win over Fort Recovery. Fort Laramie, a pretty decent team and a team to definitely watch out for in the postseason. Coldwater beats Wapak by 15. Marion Local beats Russia by 11. And then Anna falls to Minster. A big upset victory there for the Minster Wildcats to end the season as they beat Anna by 1 point. Looking at the final MAC standings, Versailles wins the MAC as they finish perfect at 9-0 in the conference and then 21-1 on the season. Their only loss coming to Anna just a couple weeks ago. Parkway finishes second. A really good season for the Parkway Panthers as they've kind of had a down trend the last couple of seasons, but they have a big year this year as they finish second in the MAC. Only 2 losses on the entire season. Kalen Kenny, a really good season as on Friday, he became Parkway's all-time leading scorer. It may have been Saturday, but I believe it was Friday. And he, set the all-time leading scorer, or I believe he got the most points in a game in Parkway history as well, as they finished 14-6 on the season. Minster in 3rd, Fort Recovery 4th. Delta St. John's ended up having 4 conference losses, although they did have a really good season as well. They finished 5th. Moving out to the Shelby County Athletic League, Anna beats Miami East pretty easily. Newton falls to Russia, and then Houston beats Bradford on Tuesday. Looking at the Friday scores, Botkins falls to Fort Laramie. Botkins has had a pretty good season, but Fort Laramie blows them out there. Jackson Center gets a close win against Fairlawn, and then Russia barely falls to Houston by 1 point. And then the Saturday scores, as you can see, Marion Local beating Russia by 11. Minster beating Anna by 1. We saw that one a little bit earlier. Fairlawn beats Lehman Catholic by 15. And then Jackson Center beats Riverside by 16. The SCAL standings to end it out. Anna wins the SCAL with a 10-1 record, 17-4 overall. Jackson Center finishes second with 10-3 in the conference and 17-5 overall. Botkins and Fort Laramie both with good seasons as they finish 7-4 themselves. Looking at the Ohio Heritage Conference, Springfield Shawnee falls to Catholic Central by 17. Cedarville beats Middletown Christian by 19. Big win for Northwestern as Northeastern falls by 30. Triad falls to North Union by 29. And then West Jefferson gets a nice win over Johnstown Northridge, and then West Liberty Salem falls to Urbana by 5. Looking at the scores from Friday, Madison Plains beats Catholic Central by 7. Cedarville beats Greenon by 8. West Jefferson beats Fairbanks by 1. Greenview beats Southeastern by 16. Mechanicsburg beats Northeastern by 6. And then Triad falls to West Liberty Salem by 40 points. A big loss there. And then to round it out, the Saturday scores from the OHC, Madison Plains falls to Greenon. A nice win there from Greenon. Miami East with a big loss against West Liberty Salem. Southeastern, a big 50-point loss against a pretty poor Bradford team. Upper Scioto Valley beats Triad by 20. And then Urbana beats Mechanicsburg by 26. Urbana, we don't cover Urbana, but they do play opponents in the first round of the tournament, so it should be interesting to see how that shapes out in the D2 tournament. The OHC standings to finish it out, Greenview wins the South, and West Liberty Salem wins the North. 12-4 in the conference was West Liberty Salem. 15-3 in the conference was Greenview. And then to finish out the scores from this past week, we sent it out to the CCC, the Cross County Conference, as Milton Union falls to Arcanum like we saw before. We've seen all these scores already except for that Bethel Franklin Monroe score at the bottom. So big win there for Franklin Monroe. I believe that was only their 5th conference win of the season. From Friday, as you can see, Covington beats Newton by 15. Miami East with a big upset not a big upset, but a big win over Mississinawa Valley by 1. As Mississinawa Valley was second in the conference. National Trail finishes perfect in the conference as they beat Franklin Monroe by 11. Tri-County North and Dillon Stinson beat Bradford by 12. Bethel beats Tri-Village by 8. And then Twin Valley South beats Arcanum by 2. The Saturday scores from the CCC, only 3 games were played. We've seen all of them already. West Liberty Salem blowing out Miami East. New Bremen beats Arcanum. And then Southeastern beats Bradford. And then the final CCC standings, National Trail in first at a perfect 12-0. Bradford at the bottom at a perfect 0-13. Mississippi Valley with a really good season as they finished 10-4 in the conference and 12-10 overall. I love your page. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bethel finishing, like I said, 8-4, 10-12 overall. Arcanum 9-5. Ansonia 8-5. And then Tri-Village, Miami East, and Covington all tie at 7-5. Looking at the Northridge Stivers highlights, we were there at that one as Allen Lattimore and the 11-8 Tigers taking on Northridge, who comes into this game at 9-12. Northridge trying to get a little boost at the end of the season. As given a little handoff here, it's going to be DeJuan Allen giving it over to Allen Lattimore. That's the first play of the game, throwing it down, and Stivers takes an early 2-0 lead. It would just be the beginning, though, for Allen Lattimore. As you can see a little bit later, Chad Florence going to work inside. He gets the tough bucket to go. Lawrence with a really nice game in this one. He had a couple of breakout games at the end of the season. And then DeJuan Allen, one of the most unstoppable pull-up jumpers I've seen all season. He's definitely a guy that has that college potential, and I would not be surprised for him to get some offers at the end of the season. Cam Harris with a little bucket right there. And then Northridge down by 3 early. Chad Florence going to work again with another bucket. Lawrence finished with 14 points in this one. Really good game for him. Shots off the mark, but Lawrence going to work on the offensive glass, getting the putback to go as well. And now Northridge is up by 5. Timeout Stivers. As you can see, Jamel Crusoe with a little lob pass over to Florence, and he finishes it on the other end. It's a 5-point lead for the Polar Bears as they're playing really well to start. But kicking it out here as the shot's off the mark at the buzzer. And Northridge is up 14-9 against Stivers. So here's a little full court pass over towards Allen Lattimore, and he gets the and one to go. And that finished off a big run for Stivers as they go up by 3. And then Allen Lattimore, a little pull-up jumper as well. Stivers suddenly up by 5 now. Northridge will have to call a timeout after that possession. And then a little bit later, Daryl Story with the basketball. His team down by 3. His shot is up and good. Story may have not played in this one, but he ended up playing. I believe he missed the bus or something, but he ended up playing last second. So DeJuan Allen, another pull-up jumper is good. Stivers up by 3. And then Jamel Crusoe can't get the steal. Coming down here on the other way, a little lob up to DeJuan Allen. He finishes it to go. It's a 5-point lead for Stivers. Allen Lattimore kicking it out here. The 3 is good, or it's actually off the mark. And then I'll end the third quarter. So Stivers up by 5 heading into halftime. It's 28-23. The Tigers lead. Heading into the third quarter action now. This will be an interesting finish as well. Cam Evans going to work, giving it inside. That's a little turnaround jumper is good from Chad Florence. He's playing a really good game in this one. And then Chad Florence playing defense here. They give it over to Allen Lattimore. Gives it inside. That's going to be an and one. No, it wouldn't be an and one, but that would be a bucket from DeJuan Allen. So 2-point game here. Daryl Story giving it over to Isaiah McCullough. His 3 would give Northridge back the lead as they go up by 1. What a shot there. And then DeJuan Allen finishing here on the and one. That would put Stivers up 32-31. Allen hyped up after that shot right there. And then Jamel Crusoe with the basketball, feeding it over towards Isaiah McCallop. Once again, he was on fire as he keeps Northridge in the game, bringing them within 1. Jamel Crusoe with the basketball again, giving it over to McCallop one more time. He hits the 3, and this game's all tied up at 37 apiece. This one going back and forth. McCallop playing really good basketball down the stretch. And then he has the basketball here, giving it inside to Chad Florence. The turnaround jumper banks in as it goes. 3-point lead now for Northridge. And then Allen Lattimore here. His 3 is good. What a shot there. That's how it ties the game up 40 apiece. And then Isaiah McCullough, his floater is good. Northridge goes up by 2. 42-40 is the score. And then Jamel Crusoe, a little behind the back action, giving it inside to Evans. He gets the bucket, and Northridge back up 44-42 is your score here. And then Allen Lattimore from the corner. His shot is good. It's a 1-point lead for Stivers, 45-44. And then the shot from Daryl Story, it is good as he pulls up for 3. That would end the third quarter. 47-45 will be your score here at the end of the third. As he didn't realize how much time was left on the clock. Pulls up, it's off the mark. Northridge up by 2 heading into the fourth quarter. But this game would completely turn around in the fourth quarter as Stivers would go on a huge run, starting off with that 3 right there. And it would just go downhill from the Polar Bears. Stivers up by 5. Make that 7 as that shot's good. What a play right there. So it's a 7-point game. And then here's a little shot here from DeJuan Allen. His layup is good to put Stivers up by 11. And suddenly, it's a 14-point game, and this one is over. Allen Lattimore with the exclamation point slam as the crowd goes crazy there. 16-point lead for Stivers. And then the final play would be a 3 at the buzzer as Stivers wins 77-58 is your final here from Dayton, Ohio. As Stivers wins 77-58. And that would be all the highlights from Friday. Finishing off the episode, let's go over some top plays. Starting off at number 5, we got the freshman from Oakwood, Will Maxwell, on the slam here, taking on Bellbrook. He's been doing this all season. He throws it down. He has a bright future at Oakwood. Coming in at number 4, we got Tip, as Gavin Garlitz gets the steal, flips it over to Zach Frederick. He throws a bullet over towards Tom Skaggs, who throws it down in transition. What a play there, as Tip blows out Fairborn in that one. Coming in at number 3, a crazy finish here as Bellbrook taking on Monroe. Ryan Chu, the sophomore, coming down in transition, gets a screen, and then he pulls up. He hits it at the buzzer. Bellbrook sends it to overtime, although they would fall in overtime 52-50. Still, what a shot there from Chu, one of the best players in the Southwestern Buckeye League. And then at number 2, Twin Valley South taking on Arcanum. Chad Pitzer, his team down by 3. He would pull up from deep, and he hits it to send it to overtime. The crowd goes crazy. What a shot there from Pitzer. And then Twin Valley South with the basketball down by 1, and they would hit it to win the game in overtime. What a crazy finish there. And then an even crazier finish here at number 1 as Arcanum falls there. What a shot. And then and then the even crazier play here at number 1, Beaver Creek taking on Springfield. As you can see, Yusuf Saleh's free throw off the mark. Jordan Howard from his own free throw line, and he hits it. What a shot. One of the craziest plays I've seen all season. Jordan Howard, a 3/4 length of the court shot, is good at the buzzer, and Springfield stuns Beaver Creek and ends their outright GWOC championship hopes. We see this one more time from the little camera. What a shot, and that one is good. What a crazy play to end Springfield's season, as that would head into tournament time. Good luck to all the teams playing in the tournament next week, or actually this week. I will be going to Butler on Thursday night as Greenview takes on Dayton Christian, and I believe there's another game as well. And then I'll be at Centerville Friday and Saturday. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Miami Valley Hoop Vault Recap Show. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.